So, folks, oh man, am I excited to be back here talking to you about Yellowjackets Season 2. The first season came out at the very end of 2021. I didn't know what to expect because I was like, okay, Showtime is very hit or miss. They don't do a lot of stuff I like, but I like Melanie Lynskey. I like Juliette Lewis. I like Christina Ricci. I like Tawny Cypress. So I'm like, I will see anything those women do. They're all together. Okay, I'm on board. It might be my favorite show to come out in the past few years. It reminds me of classic television of like the Lost era, of like those big water cooler shows where you talk about it with your coworkers or your friends or your family every week an episode comes out. It feels like we've forgotten about that era in today's streaming world, but a show like that coming out and just sweeping the floor of everything is amazing. Season 2 is here. First episode came out. Weekly reviews coming to you every weekend, hopefully. Because there's like a weird release schedule for this season. It's like it's going to premiere earlier on Showtime and then come out the next, or is it going to premiere early? It premieres either earlier on Showtime or the Paramount channel, and then it drops the next day on the other platform. I have like neither of those really in my region of Canada, so it comes out on a different day than both of those, which is cool. Makes this easy, doesn't it? But new season, I wanted to talk about it because I had such a fun time last season. I really liked this first episode. I think it was strong. I think you can see there was a bigger budget. We tried new things. We did new things. Different sets, larger scope, a bigger feel than what we saw last season. And that's really cool. We get a bit of a recap. In the last season, we saw that Jackie died at the end of the season, and we see that Missy kind of like, poisoned the reporter, that kind of thing. We killed Adam. We all came together to kill Adam, or like hide the fact that we killed Adam. Kind of exciting. Jeff knows the truth. It's all cool. It's all good stuff. It's really fun, and this season we waste no time getting into everything. We spend a lot more time in the present moment just because I think, we know the outcome that's kind of going to happen on, in the wilderness, because we're 2 months later in. Nobody else has really had any major incidents happen in that time. We still haven't found Javi. He's still missing after those 2 months. You're like, oh, what's going to happen now? Is he going to survive? That's I think the big mystery of the past time on the forest stuff is what's going to happen to Javi, because you kind of get the lay of the land and what's going on. Lottie starts to help people who are having panic attacks and find a way to calm down. She's definitely taking a more central stage in the past life, which is really cool to see, which goes with everything we're seeing in the present timeline, where she is the leader of a cult or a retreatist thing. I love it. Look, Simone Kessel, I love her so much. I'm so glad she's in this season. I love everything she does. She's such a cool actor. Really fun. And seeing the change from, okay, here's Lottie in the forest helping these people. She helps Travis when he's having a panic attack. She's getting everybody to calm down. Kind of taking a more controlling figure, which is kind of important for her because that's who she's going to be in the future. We actually see, this is a really cool thing. I like that they did this. Maybe it's going to be a theme that we see with every new character we introduce this season when they are rescued off of the forest, from the forest, and they're headed back home. We see Lottie is the main central person. We know Missy's in there too. We see the young Missy is in that scene where they're headed back to the plane to go back to their home. But Lottie's the one we see, and she's not okay when she comes back, so her parents try to do some shock therapy to make her feel better. It doesn't work. Cult leader. That's it. Hey, it's a trajectory I understand. It makes a lot of sense. Everyone else, in the forest, is doing their own thing. Natalie and Travis are off kind of hunting people. He still wants to find his brother. She's kind of he's dead, but maybe not. Now, I mean, I don't want to get too conspiracy theory here for the show because we're only one episode in, but I could kind of see that maybe what happens to Javi is going to connect to what's happening with Shauna or with Lottie. I think he might be a central figure in the forest that's going to connect to whatever the antler queen thing's going to be. I don't think it's going to be him. I could see that being the shock reveal that he's the one that is that. I think it's going to be Lottie still. She's going to be revealed to be the one in charge. But they're also setting up that maybe it's Ty, because Ty's separated from people because she's having her night terrors, and she's hurting Van when they're sleeping next to each other and like literally biting her lip to the point she might rip it off. Which kind of goes into the thing we see of her in the present where she's got like her secret room and her wife's like, get away from our kid, you psychopath. What are you doing? And now you're a senator. And you're like, whoa, okay. I forgot so much was going on here. It's just great stuff. So we got some cannibals forming in the forest. You know, maybe Ty's going to do something she's going to regret. Shauna, at the end of like the episode, reveals to us that she has been eating Jackie a little bit, which you're like, whoa, crazy. So Jackie is not going to... I thought they were going to do the thing where Jackie's going to be like a figment of her imagination, but it's a guest appearance, I think, for this episode, the actress playing Jackie. And then we're slowly going to see Shauna doing more disgusting stuff. Presumably because she's talking to the corpse, knocks it over by accident, the ear falls off, she warms up the ear, maybe cooking it, they don't really say. She eats it like it's a chip, and that's just cool. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl, because you are clearly the central figure, and you're doing some weird stuff. Like, she is so committed to this life now. Like, when we see her in the present, and Linsky and Richie are together, it opens up with, like, a fake interrogation. And it's like, come on, you have to do better than that. You sound so fake when you're talking about this stuff. You sound really guilty. But, you know, Missy's just like, I know everything. I'm the smartest person in the room. Oh, I love Richie in this show. She is so good, so fun. When she goes to like the motel that Nat was staying at, and she's trying to like talk to the guy, like, she's my best friend, she wouldn't leave me, and I have nothing to do for the next 2 days, so I will sit in this chair until you tell me what happened to her or where she went. Great stuff. It is just really fun. And we don't set up a bunch of stuff in, like, the modern timeline. There's just a couple of things revealed. We do have, like, a series where Shauna and Jeff have to, like, destroy some evidence that connects her to Adam because he has, like, an art studio. So we go to the art studio, have some aggressive playtime, which is really fun. Jeff gets upset. He goes to listen to some Papa Roach in his car. And then they just burn some evidence of, like, an entire gallery of pictures Adam painted of her, which is cool. I think we're going to see that Jeff maybe kept one of the pictures or has maybe like hidden something away. They do burn a lot of the stuff, like the journals, like the identification, but they don't burn the identification completely, and their daughter finds it. So that's like the main thing that's kind of like the central part in the modern timeline, which is like, okay, that is an interesting element to play. The daughter could be going against everything, but she's smart enough to know something's up with her parents. The fact that she's now aware that her father knows about the affair and he's okay with everything and they seem very playful and happy about it, that would probably piss me off too, you know? I get that completely. So that's an interesting thing to develop. Not much of Ty happens in the modern timeline. It's just like, don't go next to your kid because you're crazy. She also finds that maybe she's having like the night version of herself going into this place and doing some disgusting shit, like the weird crawl space in her home. That's messed up. We also do go to the retreat or whatever that Lottie has built again. Kessel, I love her. She's great. Can't wait to see more from her. Just a bunch of people in weird purple robes in front of this beautiful woman, and she kidnapped Nat. Nat kind of escapes, and you think, oh, it's just like a normal retreat for people maybe with addictions or problems, kind of like Nine Perfect Strangers vibes, right? Now they have like a weird cult thing going on where they're wearing like weird masks and everything, and it's kind of creepy and messed up. I don't know, because they don't say. I wonder if like that sequence is like filmed in the same place they film like the forest stuff. I know a lot of this is filmed in Canada, and I'm wondering if like that's the same forest for like the past like timeline. If maybe it's just like a different part of that, or even in like in story, like she has taken that space and like turned it into like her haven and that kind of stuff. I wonder, because the people that are working for her have like the logo, like the symbol that Lottie has designed. So I wonder if it's the same forest and maybe Javi's in there, and then like Nat's gonna find him, and that's gonna be like when they reveal that he survived this long. He's been like a secret agent for Lottie, maybe. Maybe that's where that's going to go. I could see that. This was really much like a setup episode, giving us familiar with everybody. We kind of teased the character that Elijah Wood's going to play because Missy's on like a Reddit page, and everyone's kind of like obsessed with like the disappearance of Adam. Someone's like, well, if you check like his bank receipts, he's clearly been having an affair or dating someone, so it was probably like a love-scorned husband doing something bad. Probably, you're right. But we know what it is. We know who it was. It's so nice to be back in this world. Everybody is just really cool and fun. We get a lot more people in the past timeline to have the ability to speak. A lot of like the background characters who are also part of the soccer team, they each get a moment to talk. Some people are pissed at Missy. There's one of them who just sounds like a dick. They don't really name them all. I think maybe like 5 background characters from the first season get lines of dialogue in this one, which, look, if we're doing a 3rd season, and I do think they confirmed a 3rd season, that's great, because now we have more characters to understand, like, hey, what's the mystery here? Do they survive? Do they not survive? The only ones of, like, we know for sure have died in the past timeline have been Jackie and Laura Lee. We don't know what happens to anybody else, really. We also know Van is alive, and we saw the present-day Lottie. So there's a character that interacts with Missy in the past timeline named Crystal, who's like a theater kid who just likes singing songs, and she's kind of got like an upbeat energy that goes with everything Missy's about. So I think Missy's gonna have to kill her, and that's gonna be like a really big wake-up call for Missy, and like that's why she can't have friends, because the one friend she had in this area died and she killed her or something. That's just what I think. We also don't know what happens to the coach. And in the present timeline, the only one we know that died is Travis. So there's still a lot of mystery around this show, a lot of things to explore. Everybody is beautiful and happy. 2 months in the wilderness, everyone is still looking pretty good. Pretty good. Everyone's looking fun. We're having fun. Everyone's happy. We're digging it. There was a sequence, though, like when we see Travis having his panic attack, that Lottie comforts him and it gives him an erection, which does make me think that maybe Travis was aware of Lottie's whole like thing in the present timeline, and maybe his death wasn't really a suicide, but more like an scapegoat for Lottie in some essence. I'm wondering. I do think Lottie is going to be like the big bad of this season. Clearly, Missy's going to be the anti-hero who wants to find her friend. And clearly, Ty and Shauna are like the good people, which is kind of fun. But good dynamics, great actors. We just established the world. The budget looks bigger. The camera work looks crisper. We're back in it, folks. Yellowjackets is back. I cannot wait to see what's going to come up from this. I don't know, and that's really exciting. It could go into a bunch of different directions. Probably cannibalism. We still don't know what's up with Shauna's baby. It's cool stuff. I'm all for it. What else you got? Papa Roach, dude. They play its last resort with the one male character. Hey, I'm for it. It's good stuff. And Simone Kessel, I'm telling you. Ooh, man. I would fall in love with that cult in a heartbeat. So every week we're going to be back to talk some Yellowjackets, but that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.